Alright, so this is probably the easiest video that I'll make all year long, and it's about plotting points. And most of you know how to plot points on the rectangular coordinate grid, which is the Cartesian coordinate plane and coordinate system. I'm going to start with just making sure that everybody understands that this is the origin. I'm going to put a little 0 there. That's the origin. We could label it with an O, but I'll just put the 0. So if I'm going to plot the point 0, 0, that tells me this, that I'm going to go in the I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to go in the x direction 0, and I'm going to go in the y direction 0, and after that I will place a point. So I'll do that. Let's start at the origin. I'll go 0 in the x direction, 0 in the y, and there it is right there. There's my point. Let's take a look at the second one. I'm going to go 2 in the x direction and 1 in the y direction from the origin. Here we go. 2 in the x direction, 1 in the y direction, and there's my point. Okay? Over 2, up 1, there it is. Now notice I'm counting spaces. I'm not counting necessarily lines, or some people get mixed up because they're not sure whether to count the line that they're on or whatever. We're talking about like taking a step. Step 1 is the first, first unit that we count. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, -3, 5. So I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to go -3 in the x direction, 1, 2, 3, and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there it is there. -3, 5. How about 4, -6? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see the little dot with my pen if you look carefully. -7, -1. We're going to go -7 in the x. We always always look at the x direction first because it's the first coordinate. -7 and then -1, so over 7 that way and then -1 that way. And then this last one is actually on the axes because it's over 0. So I'm going to go over 0 and then I'm going to go up 4. Over 0, up 4. So it's on the y-axis. Okay-doke? So if you have a 0 as one of your coordinate points, then you're going to be on one of the axes, one or the other. Okay-doke? Now, if I'm just looking at this and I want to know, gosh, let's do something real simple. What is the distance between those 2 points? Well, it's real easy. They're lined up with the grid, going one of the directions of the grid, and so that is really easy to check. I can say that the distance between those is 4, right? So the next question is, well, what do you do with if the distance that you want to know is on the diagonal? Like, for instance, what if I want to know the distance between those 2 points? Then that means the diagonal through here, right? It's not even a 45-degree diagonal. It's a different slope completely in 45. And so what we want to know is, well, what's the distance there? Well, that brings up the next video that I'm going to be looking at, and that is the distance formula. So if I'm wanting to get the distance between 2 points, then on a coordinate plane, and the distance between them is drawn through the diagonal on the coordinate plane, not with the grid, in other words, we're going to have to use the distance formula. So check that out in the next video. Thanks for watching.